So, greetings. My name's Matt. Today, I'm going to talk about how you can manifest your goals. But first of all, I'd like you to check out this short segment from a great man who I hold great respect for. And also, I grew up reading his comics, Stan Lee, talking about how he created Spider-Man. I'll see you after this.
Publisher came to me and he said, Stan, I want you to come up with another superhero. So I said, okay, and I went home and I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I said, hey, if I could get a superhero that could stick to walls and crawl on them, man, that would be cool. So I thought that was good. Now I needed a name. So I said, well, let's see, Fly Man, Mosquito Man. I got down to Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It just sounded dramatic. So, okay, I had my hero. I had his power, his name, and then I figured just for fun, I'm going to give him personal problems. Then I thought I'd make him a teenager, because there were no teenage superheroes that I knew of at the time. So armed with all that wonderful material, those great ideas, I ran into my publisher's office and I told him. This was my reaction, the reaction he gave me. Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard. First of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. You want him to be a teenager? Teenagers can only be sidekicks. And you want him to have personal problems? Stan, don't you know what a superhero is? They don't have personal problems. Well, I left the office disappointed, but obviously a much wiser man. And I couldn't get Spider-Man out of my system. So we were about to kill a magazine. I think it was called Amazing Fantasy. Just to get it out of my system, I put Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy, featured him on the cover, forgot about it. A month later, all the sales figures came in. My publisher came racing into my office. Stan, you remember that character we both loved so much, Spider-Man? He said, let's do him as a series. Now, why am I telling you this? If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. That doesn't mean that every wild notion you come up with is going to be genius. But if there is something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done. And if you can take pride in it after you've done it, no matter what it is, you can look at it and say, I did that, and I think it's pretty damn good. That's a great feeling. Just do your thing, do it as well as you, that's the important thing. Don't shirk. Whatever you do, give it your best shot. You'll be glad you
So, boom, welcome back. Wasn't that awesome? My name's Matt. I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So, today, as I said, we're going to be speaking about manifesting your goals. And let's just dip into how we can do that. So, what the challenge is and how we can overcome them, and what is your barriers that hold you back and keeps you isolated within that circle or in that box that you are keeping yourself in. Now, a lot of the time you hear people say their barriers are wealth, education, lack of opportunity, or no support. If I was to just say they are reasons for change. Now, I don't call them excuses. I say these are reasons for change. The way we can overcome these barriers or these transformational changes is by, again, going within us, you know. And a lot of the time, even for myself, I've just felt so blocked, so lost, even though I knew what I wanted to do and where I was going. I've just felt, nah, it just ain't gonna happen. Now, until we do the shadow work within ourselves, and when I say shadow work, that darker side of us, that fear side of us, what is the things that make you uncomfortable, we won't progress forward. We will stay in the realms of normalville. And this is where people stay. This is what people are used to. And this is where people like to vibrate and keep in this zone. And it happens for a year, it happens for 2 years, then 10 years down the line, you're still stuck in that place called Lostville or Ordinaryville. Now, what we need to do is move to opportunities of transformationalville, where we can start shifting those ideas and start doing those, as I said, the shadow work. So, what is shadow work? Here you go. What is shadow work? Shadow work is really looking at writing out your pros and your cons. So your cons is shadow work. It's the darker side to you. There's a theory in counseling where what you can see in front of you. So if you was to look ahead of you, you can see all that stuff in front of you, right? The camera and the room. But I can't see what's behind me. That's the dark side. And if I look at the camera, that's what's behind me. So the stuff behind me, I need to be aware of. So the things from your past, which affects your present and your future. Now, the things that hold you back, which what you have done yesterday is impacting what you do today, right? So if you're looking at you're stuck and you're not making enough money, or you're not happy in your relationship, because all these things could be cons or need shadow work. And if, for example, you're not happy in a relationship, and let's put not happy with money, you're not making enough money in order to achieve your goal. What the first thing is to do is you need to go and look at yourself and your connection with your overall links to the universe, or your connection to God. You know, and there's a beautiful part in the Bible which is Habakkuk, I believe it is, 2.2, and he says, you have not because you ask not. Now, you may be this, and if I was to look at iRobot, the movie with Will Smith, and he keeps asking a question to the scientist about the robot and why he cannot work out what's going on with him. And when he eventually went through and done some shadow work and looked at his own imperfections and his own hatred towards the robots, then he spoke to the scientist, which was hologram, and he knew, and he's obviously asked the right question. Then the scientist says, that well done, now you asked the right question. Now, as Will Smith said in the movie, that my hatred for the robots, because of his past, remember I mentioned about your past, will help him to trigger asking the right questions. So the scientist who built Will Smith's arm knew that Will Smith was really angry and hated the robots. So the scientist knew if he could get Will Smith to do the shadow work, he would be asking the right questions to find out who was the murderer or who killed him and why things have gone a bit pear-shaped. So where does this leave you? Your shadow work is you asking what is really drilling you, what really grates you about stuff, what winds you up. And we get stuck in the illusion of appreciation of where we are right now, yeah? So, beautiful saying by Oprah Winfrey, when she says, the biggest adventure you can take is life and live your dreams. So until you live your dreams, you're just staying stuck within this realm that you call life, or what you call this facet of this existence. And the other important thing about that is, well, dreams. Dreams are templates for reality, yeah? That's why we have dreams and why they're so real. When we dream are just projections of your unconsciousness, yeah, talking to your consciousness. So it's down to us to echo and work out how we can make those changes shift over in order to move forward and not be lost within that situation. So there you go. That's a part of the situation. So as the great Walt Disney says, all of our dreams come true if we have the courage. Yeah, if we have the courage to pursue them. Now with Walt Disney, it's amazing his situation where he was made bankrupt twice. Did you know? Twice before he even started Disneyland, and look how successful and where they are today. He was told that Mickey Mouse he basically just said that Walt Disney couldn't draw and he was useless. Look at him now. Pursuing your goal is achievements only you can do. And I always say, and I say this to my children, and I'm saying this to my grandchildren, pursue your goal. Pursue what you want to do. And I say to my children, mainly obviously because my grandkids are still young, I say to my children, look, don't tell a small-minded person your great dreams, because a small-minded person who don't have any dreams or any ambition are only going to pull you down and hold you in that small way of thinking. So they are talking to people. That's why they say always talk to people who are one step ahead of you, 2 steps ahead of you. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, talk to somebody who's done it already. You can't talk to somebody who's never set up a business before. Yeah, you talk to people. If you're going to go and be a teacher, talk to a teacher who's doing the job. If you want to have a family, talk to family members who have families. If you want to be in a successful relationship, talk to somebody who's been in a long-term relationship. Why would you talk to somebody about relationship if they've only been in and out of relationships, so they can't even hold down a relationship? You know, it begs to differ. It's like you talking to a dentist about your feet. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, so look at the reality of what it is. And there's a beautiful saying by C.S. Lewis says, "You're never too old to set a new dream." So if you're thinking that you've got to into your 40s, your 50s, or someone, you're never too old to pursue them, to move forward, to make it happen. Now, how do you manifest dreams? I hear you saying, yeah. Simple as you need to create a vision board, write a diary, write a list, put out there what you want to achieve, really encapsulate what it is that you want to achieve. Now, you know, the see, believe, and receive for the law of attraction, yeah? Right? This is what people say. There's the other aspect that you need to go and make these things happen. You can't make it just automatically just unfold. You need to put things into place. So you've made your list and you're ready to move forward. So sometimes you need to forget about it. Yeah. So, and again, the law of attraction, it depends on what you're doing. So if I want to start my business, yeah, and I'm like developing a Karnak, and I'm not sure which way to go. First thing I'll do, I'll make a note in my vision board diary. I call it a vision board diary because everything what I want to achieve is in that list. And I'll put it in there, and I'll put it out to God and say, look, God, Father, I need some help, some guidance. What do I do? Can you show me what I need to do in order to help this to move forward, to make the next step? Because like in The Secret, when John Canfield said, you can only, when you're driving down a dark road, and you see your headlights, you can only see 2 meters ahead of you. And every time you keep going, you keep moving every 2 meters, then you'll find eventually you will get to your destination. So that's what you need to keep doing. Sometimes you need to drive in the dark and trust in the light for it to show you the future, for it to show you where you're going to get to. So for example, I've put out there to God and said, like, look, I know I'm meant to be doing your work, what it is that I need to do, what it is where I need to come from. Here, love my job, love my life, but I need to be a bit more fulfilled. I know I should be serving you more. I know I would like to bring this forward. Strangely enough, was on YouTube and I saw this thing about developing a dark mirror. That's on my video list. And so I decided to do one myself because I know a lot of people were saying to me that they either can't afford a crystal ball, but I said I can help you make a type of crystal ball for scrying for less than £10 or 10 or 20 pounds. So I managed to do it. I think it's under 15 it cost me. But I wanted to do a bit more high end. So I did it, created it. Long story short, I started using it and I looked in the mirror and I said, what do I need to do? And then I said, like, my future. And then it was amazing. It was simply amazing. It was this vision I saw of me in the future, and I knew it's really hard to explain unless you have experienced it, but it was like I was there but I wasn't there. So it's almost like it's just reachable, like just there, like that. It's just in front of you. Obviously I know that the mirror's there, but I could see it in my mind's eye, me sit in front of all these people giving a talk in front of all these people. Now, prior to that, go back 10 years, as I was coming out of hospital, I know some people know, I've said this in my last video, I saw myself moving into this house, which I achieved. It's a beautiful story around that. I came out of hospital, went to a bed sit, and I've been in hospital saying to my brother, look, bro, I know I see my house being built now. And he said, yeah, but bruv, like, that's good, but that's good. Hold on to that. You never know. So I moved into my bed sit. So he was sitting there and he said to me, well, this doesn't look like the place you mentioned. I said, Joe, I know it's not. This isn't it. My place is still being built. And he said to me, okay, all right, bro. He goes, that's cool. I goes, look, I've got loads of light that's coming. I remember sitting on the sofa, and as I'm looking in front of you, I think there's a TV here, and there's loads of light coming in through like massive doors. I'm sure it's French doors. And he was like, well, that's cool, that's brilliant, that's good to see that. I don't think he really believed me, to be fair. Anyway, then about 7 months later, I moved here, and this was the second place I moved to, right after hospital. So I'm sitting on my sofa, he's standing, like, I'm in front of me, so I'm over here, and I'm looking at the window, and the light streaming in, and I just remember seeing that vision, and I said to him, bro, this is it. And he said to me, what? Remember that dream I told you about? And he said, yeah. And I said to him, strangely enough, I spoke to, when I was looking about the place, when was it converted? When was it just being built? This is a new build. That time it's a new build. When I was in hospital, it was in the process of being built. Did you know it was the exact same month? I said it to my brother when I was in hospital, that this guy said we started on this section that date when I was in hospital, and we traced it all back and it all tallied up. And my brother was like, oh my word. But do you know what? Even though we know magical things like this is happening, my other half, my fiance Candy, is seeing the same things. It is still like getting amazing results. It's just like it's your first day of going out on a date when you first meet somebody new. It's just amazing. It's so beautiful. So when you manifest your goal, that's what it is. So going back to what I said about the vision board, the mirror, it was the same thing I saw. I saw back then two things, was this place and me giving a talk. But this time they showed me more sitting down, being more of a spiritual consultant, spiritual leader, and talking about spirituality. Strangely enough, I've just got confirmation that I'm starting my 2-year course to be a reverend or to start my ministry. And this is going to lead me to, and one of the parts of it is to be working with all faiths, being able to be a spiritual advisor and counselor to other people. No, I've got counseling already, but this is based around spiritual and transactional development or spirituality. Goes back to my vision. Amazing. God's just amazing. So you can manifest your God, and that goes back to me just going trust. The other way you can do it, I always advise some clients, it depends if they're kind of spiritual, if they're not, if they open to the idea of using visual imagery. I always say go into meditation, because everyone knows what an altar looks like, in a church or in your belief system. Let me use the Catholic Church, for example. But everywhere has, or every temple or every church has an offering for the altar. And what I always try and do, or what I do when I can't make something happen and I need God's help, I put my worry or my concerns in a box. And I think people have heard me say this before. And I bring the box and I place it on the altar. God's got a lot of stuff on his altar. On me. So I place it on the altar and then I bow and I say, I need your help with this. Can you help me, Father? And I just get this overwhelming amount of peace. Yeah. And then I almost forget about it. And not so it's not my problem, but it's almost, it's what he's saying. It's not your problem. Leave it to me. Goes back to what he goes to me. Just be you. I will do the rest. So I'm telling you now, when you hand things over to God, you can focus on being you, being happy in your life, and God will bring you or kind of triggers to show you when things are ready. For example, say if you go into a restaurant, which there haven't been restaurants open in a while, but say you go into a restaurant, you go to, say the waitress comes over, yeah? That's got coming to you. You go to the cash point, the cash place where you go and pay for it. You place your order there, then you come and you sit down, you forget about it. Yeah, you know that your meal's going to be cooked, don't you? You don't go and place it, then just sit there and then keep calling them, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? No, you don't. You wait. And normally, it probably would take 10 minutes, half an hour maximum. But with this, it's going to be done. All right, there's no time limit, but as long as you stay in your chair at your table is with the allocated number they've given you, they would know where to deliver your food. If you decided to start complaining and move to another table because you're getting a bit fed up, then it would take longer, and they'll come and deliver it to your table, and they'll go you know what, sod you, and it will just get all a bit confusing. So it's about being in your space, being you, rooted in you, and then being able to make the request to God, and then let God deliver it to you. Going back to Habakkuk 2:2, you have not because you ask not. So until you ask, stop moaning that ain't happening. And again, going back to people's goals not being done. So many times, complaining. I get life is a challenge. I get life is hard. But you can't let day-to-day stuff focus on, obviously, paying your bills, focus on being with your family, all that stuff. You can't let your dreams control you, yeah? That's what it's kind of called, dreams. It's a gift. And your dreams will come to you. It may be for the fact is that if you want to be successful fighter, successful runner, successful gymnast, you need to train. And it's a beautiful thing what Steve Harvey says, where if you want to be a lawyer, doctor, surgeon, someone, then you go to university. But if you want to go out and do something to make your dreams happen, you therefore need to have the power from within to make these things happen. And, it's Colin McGregor says it as well. He turns around and says that I can do as much training and fighting as much as I want. But what the other fighters don't have, what I have, is that I have overwhelming amount of faith that I'm the best and I would achieve everything that I've got now, because I know I'm the best and I know I'm going to win. Yeah, you're not always going to be successful, but these are reasons for change. There's you to look at why you didn't achieve it. Maybe you weren't looking or doing the process right, but for the fact is that once you keep that faith and that strength, it will happen. And you're gonna get these people saying, "Well, it's fate." Don't believe in fate. Sorry, but that's my thing. But you want to believe in, that's your prerogative. But for me, fate ain't done shit for me. God has brought me to this point, and God is going to deliver me in the future. And as well, as I said to my fiance today, we were talking, and she said, "You're so much happier when you're focusing, or when you're ready to manifest something, than debating it." Because she knows I go into my head a lot and try and work things out. But she goes, when you're manifesting it, and I know you're manifesting it because you're really playful, you're really nice to be around. When you've got it running around in your head, and she just sometimes says to me, "Matt, just go and give it to God." Because I'm seeing you struggling with it. Go and give it to God. And sometimes I'm trying to do it with my own power, and she knows, and she started doing it herself. And I'm still trying to convince her to come on my channel, but she's not as forthcoming as I am. But hey, so yeah, but I just wanted to share with you that your goal is achievable no matter what people say to you. And as what Stan Lee said, please replay that part, because it means a lot. I mean, look how successful Spider-Man is. So I'm gonna love you and leave you there, and look, you know what? You stay safe, you stay blessed. And I keep praying that this lockdown drops, and then everyone can get healthier, and let's get back to normality, not a new form of normality. Let's get back to normality, where we can all get together and start embracing each other and loving each other again. Look after yourself, stay blessed, stay safe, and namaste.